Hey guys, just a middle of the day update. Looks like we're starting to curl up on the 2 minute, but I don't really use that for holding, and if you're swinging it or something maybe. But uh, looks like the support is 885 and VWAP is 1038. So we're getting pretty wide ranges of motion at this point. Shorts didn't cover shit. I've been updating you with Ortex all day. Something I just wanted to let you guys know is there's another way to make money here if you're kind of on the fence with what's going on or unsure about the play or a little uneasy. Okay, so the current share price is 930. If you have, say, $10,000 in your account, you can sell a cash covered put. I'm not saying buy puts. Buying puts is bearish. That means you expect the price to fall down. I'm telling you to sell a put. So you could do two things here, okay? Three things. You could sell one at the money, so 9 or 9.50, because they go in 50-cent increments. You could sell one out of the money, $8, or you could sell one heavily in the money, let's say 10.50. Okay, if you think it's going to go way up, you could sell a 10.50. That's going to put an instant $2 in your bank account per share, and each one's 100 shares. So $200 goes in your account for every contract, but now you've promised somebody to pay them $10.50 a share on Friday, no matter what. Right now, the most heavily loaded one is 10, and then it's 9, and then it's 8. Okay? So they're trying to keep it away from $10 because they don't want calls to print, and they don't want, pretty much they don't want calls to print on this. 10 is loaded on calls, and it's only half as many puts at 10. So they'll probably try to put it somewhere like 950, 850 for tomorrow. Really, we're holding. I don't think they stand a chance. It doesn't matter where they peg it. It really doesn't fucking matter. I'm holding for triple digits. So let me just get back to that. So if you had 10 grand and you did the 1050, right? You get 10,000 divide 1050. And then there are some fees, so that's 952, okay? So you could sell 9 contracts. 9 contracts would be 900 shares. And then, like I said, you'd be getting your $2. Well, about $1.75, okay? Times $1.75. So you'd get $1,575 cash today, Wednesday. Use it for whatever you want. Buy shares. Buy more, sell more puts, whatever you want to do, okay? You just automatically make $1,575. So what does that do, though? That also limits your upside. So if it runs to $15, you don't buy any shares. You don't get to buy those shares for $10.50, and you just get to keep that $1,575. Okay? Well, why would I do that if it's supposed to moon? Okay, well, if it goes down, since you got paid $1.75 a share and you sold $10.50, okay, $10.50 minus $1.75, that means your break even is $8.75, which is currently lower by about 60 cents than the share price right now. So it's called you're limiting your downside, okay? So if you want to limit your downside even further, you go at the money. So at the money means you get less premium, but more downside protection, typically. Not a lot, okay? Most of these are all the same. They'll probably all come in around $8.75, something like that, right? Let me just continue. So you sell a $9 one. That's paying about 90 cents right now, okay? So $9, that would allow you to sell a little more with 10 grand. 10 grand divide 9, 1,100, right? So you could sell 11 contracts, because you have to do even numbers, and get 90 cents a share, right? $990. So you're getting less premium, but now instead of paying $10.50, you're only agreeing to someone that you'll pay $9. So you're automatically saving 30 cents. If the price stayed exactly the same for the whole week, now you've promised to pay 90 cents, and it's more than that, so they're not going to give you any shares because they could just sell the shares to the market. So you get to keep your premium and they get to keep their shares. But let's say it goes down to $8.75. You're still profitable because you made 90 cents a share today. You're paying 9 minus 75, right? 8.25. So now you're break even. Your absolute break even means you didn't gain anything and you didn't lose anything is 8.25. And then you can take that a step further. You think it could moon, but you don't like red box for whatever reason, or you don't want to be in the play. Too stressful for you. Take a look at $8, let's say, which is pretty far away, or even $7.50. Okay, $7.50. That's pretty far away right now. That's almost $2 full away from the current price. Bearing in mind, this is a volatile stock. Okay, but it is Wednesday and it's 2 p.m. So there's not a lot of trading left in the week, let alone the day. So you look at the $7.50 and you go, okay, the bid is 35, the ask is 45. You go down the middle, 40 cents a share, okay? 10,000 bucks divided by 750, that's your strike. That lets you sell 13 contracts for 1,300 shares, okay? So 1,300 times 40 cents, that would put 520 bucks in your bank account, which for a lot of people is a decent amount of money to make in 2 days. You get that money today, but they're weekly options. So you could do that every week, let's say, and now you're getting 500 bucks a week, okay, with a pretty safe strike price on a volatile stock that should be squeezing anyways. So as long as it's higher than 750 at the end of the week, you keep your 520 bucks, they keep their shares, and that's all that happens. You just make money. So it's way better than day trading because it doesn't put any pressure on us for you to sell pressure. It actually puts buy pressure on because you're promising to buy the share at a specific price. So hedge funds know, oh, well, let's short it for fucking $2. Well, wait a minute here. Maverick is buying shares at $7.50 on Friday no matter what. So that's going to bring the price up. So they have to fuck around with the options and make sure it reaches what's called max pain, which is minimum reward for retail, maximum profit for them. But this is kind of what I like to do. I don't like to do buy call options and risk a bunch of money and maybe get nothing. Yeah, your upside is potentially hundreds of %, but I'd rather have gains every week than fucking maybe I lose all my money that I've, YOLO'd. So let's say the price goes to $7. Your break even would be $7.10 because you got 40 cents. So the stock right now being at $9.35, 710 divide 935. The stock would have to go down 25% in the next 2 days for you to lose on this on a 750 strike, selling a put option. So to me, the possibility of that is extremely low at this point, just with all the eyes that are on display. But you can go even lower. If your risk tolerance is super low. Okay, there is really no interest in anything under 450, but you could go to $5 and you could get 5 cents a contract. 5 cents for your 10 grand. 10 grand divide 5, get you 2,000. So 20 contracts, 2,000 shares times 5 cents. I think it's $100 or $50. What is that? Yeah, $100. So you'd only get $100 for your whole 10 grand. That's not a very good return when you look at what you could be getting with a little bit of risk. But if you want to talk about like piling up, small gains, right? Incremental gains. You just turned your 10 into 10-1, and then your 10-1 into 10 to 10, and then your 10-1 into 10 whatever, right? Like, you can get these little gains so that over the year, so that'd be about 1% a week, right? That's like 52% a year. That's a very good return on an annualized basis. Me, I sold today, I sold some 850s, some 8s, and some 550s. I just took a bit of so when I'd sell some 550s, to me, that's like I'm paying for my DoorDash, I'm paying stupid bills. Just that's my I get to spend that money. I'm not even concerned with keeping that cash. That ain't savings. That's like my paycheck, because this is my job. And then the 850s and the 8s, that's I want to make a little bit of cash there, right? So I've got $1,000 worth of options that I've sold there. And if I can make $1,000 a week at this, 52 weeks, 52 grand a year, right? That's not too bad. And that's not even counting my shares and anything like that, right? So it's just something I thought I would do a video on. It's not like a short video. It might be confusing because I'm just spitting out numbers. And, like, what the fuck is he even talking about? I don't even know what he's saying. There's a guy on YouTube called My Life of Learning. It's like an older dude, 45 or so, 50. He like only talks about options, and he mostly just talks about options and dividends. And he's mostly just like he's a actively passive investor. So he makes all of his money pretty much on dividend companies and by selling puts and then writing covered calls. So that's another thing here, okay? My Life of Learning. He's so good. He's the one who taught me all about options. And that's what I've been doing for 8 months now. So, let's say you have shares, though, and you want to limit your downside. You're going to cap your upside, but you could write if you think, damn it, we hit 11 and then we stalled out, and now we're 950. I don't think we're going to be over 11 on Friday. They're going to keep us under 10. They're going to keep us under 11. Maybe 1050, 1030. So, but I want to keep my shares and make some money. So you look at the calls chain and you look at 1050, let's say. Fuck it. You look at 11, okay? If you have 1,000 shares, you can sell 10 covered calls. Okay, that's also gonna put some money in your pocket. So the bid is 45 and the ask is 50. All the calls are up today. 1150 is up 150% because the price went up. So you're getting good premium for your covered calls right now. So if you limit your maximum profit to $11 a share for Friday, which is, I mean, we're at 945 right now, so 11 divide 945, you're still giving yourself 16.4% stock growth. So you're giving yourself 16.4% growth before you have to sell your shares, but you're also making yourself an extra 45 cents a share. 50 cents, depends what you can get them to fill at. Which 50 cents a share at 950 is an additional 5.3%. 5.3% return in 2 days. There's like 230 trading days, I believe. So, that's 1,200% a month. A year, annualized. That's a fuck ton of percent. Obviously, that's not how it works because this is a weekly and you're on Wednesday. But, a 5.6% return for 2 days of holding a stock you wanted to hold anyways, with 16% additional upside, your total is almost 22% upside from the current price. But now what have you done? You've also limited any downside. So instead of feeling the need to panic sell because the stock drops 50 cents, you've got the 50 cents. So there's Joe Blow, he's just holding the stock. If it goes up or it goes down, he's just holding it. He doesn't get any money. And then there's you, who sells a covered call for $11. As long as it stays under 11, you get to keep your shares and the 50 cents a share premium. if it's at 9.50 and it goes down to 9, Joe Blow lost 50 cents a share, but you didn't lose shit because you made the 50 cents call option premium. So covered calls is really an awesome tool to limit your downside. It severely limits your upside, okay, but it does limit your downside. And you're not set on these. You can do what's called roll them, so you can switch them into different weeks as well. If it changes in a direction up or down, and you need to change that, you can roll it. So that's just something you again, Google it. Life of Learning. Maybe I do a video on it at some point. Probably not, because I'm not sharing my screens with you, and this is all probably in one ear out the other. I'm just bored because I'm sitting here holding and waiting. And I thought, maybe I'll just put out a fucking video about options for some people who maybe don't know about it. Or any volatile stock like this has huge, what's called IV, implied volatility, which is like a multiplier for how much moolah you can make on it. And right now we're 300%. When AMC was ripping, it was 300%. GameStop too, right? BBIG, Ader. Anytime these things are ripping, the IV is like 300%. When they're stagnating, when they've kind of settled, it's usually around 100%. Okay, so right now options are basically on both sides of the spectrum. They're paying about 300%, like 3 times more than normal, because of risk, because it can move 1132 down to 912, and that's our high is 1132 and our low is 912. That's fucking huge. You really don't want to see that in an everyday stock. In a squeeze play, that's pretty normal. So I don't know if you found that video useful. Awesome, let me know. Keep an eye on options chains. Take a look. It's not something you even need to do today. If you're new, and just keep an eye on it. Maybe write it on a piece of paper and say, well, this is what I would like to do. Write it on a piece of paper or on Notepad on your computer or whatever. Save the file. See how you would have wound up close on Friday. You cannot trade options in pre-market or after hour. Only during normal trading hours, okay? And they're not done by like hedge funds. They're done by the CBOE, the Board of Exchanges. Okay? Certified Board of Exchanges or something like that. Options equities. Well, I don't know what the fuck. Something like along those lines is the acronym. But it's basically they're an intermediary, and they make fees from the buyer and from the seller. So they're the ones who list all of these. It's like a bookie. Okay? They're a bookie. But for every one of these shares out there, or options out there, there's someone who has shares and someone who's gambling on the direction. I'm not going to get into naked calls or anything like that. It's super high risk. So I'm purely talking about cash, selling cash covered puts, which is bullish, and selling covered calls, and covered is referring to you own the stock, which is, it's kind of considered bearish because you limit your upside, but to me it's just smart money. There's only so much upside where, I shouldn't say that. I mean, this could take off at any time, but I just want to see you guys make some cash, and it's just an option, okay? Before I put my foot in my mouth, you're free to avoid them entirely. It's just a video. Maybe you're bored too and you want something to watch, and you're sick of the usual guys out there who really don't have a lot to fucking say these days, but try to fill you with fucking the same old crap and tell you to support their paid Discord or download their PFOF app. I don't know, man. Take it easy, guys.